America right now is not winning the war with Iran. That statement sounds controversial, but let's think about it. At the start of the war, it was very clear. We were kicking butt and taking names. Mostly the names of Iran's high command. We were killing them in droves, wiping out their air defense systems, blowing up their rocket launchers and storage facilities. Central Command posted countless videos of the U.S. easily taking out Iranian targets. The violence of action of the U.S. military was nothing like the world had ever seen. We didn't have to ask who was winning. For his part, President Trump has repeatedly claimed the U.S. has already won, and yet now the Iranian dysfunction and infighting, according to the president, is the real sign of victory.
You know, the leaders are all gone. Part of the problem is that, that's why I can't really answer your question. They have all new leadership, and they're fighting like cats and dogs for who's going to control. They want to make a deal. We have been speaking to them, but they don't even know who's leading the country. They're in turmoil.
And yes, there's lots of Iran in turmoil, but the facts on the ground tell a different story in terms of what that turmoil is going to lead to. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the most hardline parts of Iran, is consolidating power. Some reports claim the Iranian Speaker of the Parliament, that was supposed to be the moderate in this whole thing, was just forced to resign from the negotiating team. Trump's press conference today shows a president trying, that's why you have press conferences, to regain the narrative.
I want to make the best deal. I could make a deal right now. Do you know that if I left right now, we had a tremendous success. It would take them 20 years to rebuild, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it everlasting. I want to have it where they never have a chance to get it. I mean, the way you asked that question, yeah, I did say it. I thought it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and I was right, because at the end of 6 weeks, at the end of 4 weeks, their military was decimated.
And that is true. The Iranian military, in terms of being able to project force, is decimated. Trump's messaging, though, is not working for Americans, and it's not doing much with the Iranian regime either. He sways from saying there is no timeline to saying he could make a deal right now. Then a few hours later, Iran will say they have no idea what he's talking about. And the threats the president is delivering don't seem to be getting through. President Trump says he ordered the military to shoot to kill any Iranian boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. There are several problems with this. First, the Iranian leadership doesn't care if the mine-laying boats gets blown up. And secondly, why should the Iranian regime right now believe him? President Trump has made threats over the past 3 weeks, many threats, and none of them have been backed up. No amount of Oval Office press conferences fighting with the press is going to fix that.
How long are you willing to wait until you get a unified response?
Don't rush me, Jeff. So we were in Vietnam like for 18 years. We were in Iraq for many, many years. And we were in the Korean War for 7 years. I've been doing this for 6 weeks. They're getting absolutely decimated. Now, with all of that being said, we'll see what happens. They have a lot of, we have no pressure. It's only guys like you with a question like that about what's your time. We've been doing it for 5.5 weeks.
The only pressure on President Trump is political pressure. It's not military pressure because of the midterms. President Trump faces many problems. The new Iranian leadership does not. The midterms being one of them, the political pressure being another. But the world isn't fair. Unlike situations in the past where Trump could take things to the brink and then back off, the Iranians appear to have no desire for an off-ramp, just to sort of move on. The Iranians are fundamentally different people than Trump has ever dealt with. They're not Venezuela or NATO or even the governor of Minnesota. Self-preservation isn't their instinct. They are religious zealots. In Shia Islam, a fight with the infidels is to be embraced. For some, it is a religious sign that good things are to come. If Trump wants out of this war, the Iranians will make him pay a high price. They will make him pay an even higher price to win it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.